Federal government pushes for stronger domestic health financing, targets 44 million Nigerians in insurance net by 2030. Union Bank completes merger with Titan Trust Bank. Plus, oil rises as Ukraine war stokes supply worries and market eyes prospects of Federal Reserve easing. It's a brand new Tuesday in September, and we have just the right mix in your favorite daily business and financial fix on Business Express. Reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. I am Nneka Oko. Welcome. The Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) has launched its newly redesigned official website on the 1st of September 2025. In a statement on Monday, SEC said the upgrade introduces a modern design to enhance functionality and a streamlined user experience aimed at investors, market operators, and the general public. It says the new platform features improved navigation, consolidated resources such as regulatory guidelines and publications, and a mobile-friendly design. The initiative underscores government's ongoing commitment to transparency, operational efficiency, and improved stakeholder engagement. Oil prices rose on Tuesday as concerns about supply disruptions grew amid an escalation of the conflict between Russia and Ukraine, and as the market weighed whether upcoming U.S. jobs data would lead to interest rate cuts. Brent crude futures added 37 cents to $68.52 a barrel, while U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude was at $65.02 a barrel. WTI futures did not settle on Monday due to the Labor Day holiday in the U.S. Reports say recent Ukrainian drone attacks shut down facilities accounting for at least 17% of Russia's oil processing capacity of 1.1 million barrels per day. Now gold pushes to record high above $3,500 per ounce on U.S. rate cut expectations. Let's see how the numbers look for gold as well as other commodities. Now, in the banking sector, Union Bank of Nigeria has finalized its merger with Titan Trust Bank, TTB, as approved by the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN. On Monday, September 1st, the two entities officially combined with the unified bank operating under the name Union Bank of Nigeria PLC. The new entity absorbed all of Titan Trust Bank's operations and assets, and Titan Bank no longer exists as a separate company. All former Titan Trust branches are now operating under the Union Bank brand. The consolidation is expected to create operational synergies and boost the bank's capacity to finance Nigeria's economy, which faces high credit demand from households and businesses. We move to news from the Eurozone, where Eurozone manufacturing activity grew in August for the first time since mid-2022, supported by stronger domestic demand and higher production levels. Survey data shows that the Eurozone Manufacturing Purchasing Managers Index, PMI, rose to 50.7 in August, up from 49.8 in July and above the flash estimate of 50.5. This marks the indice's highest reading in more than 3 years and the first time it has crossed the 50.0 threshold. The move back into growth territory suggests a possible shift in momentum for the bloc's manufacturing sector after over 2 years of decline. Survey responses highlighted that rising domestic demand and a rebound in output were the major contributors, fueling stronger confidence about future activity. In recent years, Nigeria has witnessed a remarkable rise in the gig economy, powered by digital platforms such as Bolt, Uber, Upwork, TikTok, and other online marketplaces. From ride-hailing services to content creation, freelancing, and digital skills, many young Nigerians are turning to these opportunities as alternative sources of income amidst limited formal jobs. While this growing digital hustle is creating new pathways for entrepreneurship and self-employment, it also raises questions about sustainability, regulation, and long-term economic impact. Today on Business Express, we will be examining how the gig economy is shaping Nigeria's youth employment landscape, the opportunities it presents, and the policy gaps that must be addressed. Our guest is an economist, Adakole Ijogi. Glad to have you again on Business Express, Mr. Ijogi.
Yes, good morning and thank you for having me.
Great. Gig work seems to have come to stay because one cannot walk down any major street in a city like Abuja without seeing, say, a Bolt driver or a dispatch rider. Now, what factors are driving the surge of the gig economy among young Nigerians? Is it just the lack of jobs, or is there more to it?
Well, once again, thank you for having me. Let me start by saying that the gig, or what you call the gig economy, the digital economy, is powered by new technologies that have been speeding up over time. And like I usually say, that digital economy is the fourth industrial revolution. And what this essentially means is technology-driven processes, be it in services, be it in security, be it in communications, be it in e-commerce. I mean, some of the things that you listed, like ride-hailing services, digital payment and transfers. But you see, the digital economy goes beyond that. I mean, we're talking about security, for instance. You have drones that are powered by this technology-driven platform or economy. I think that, in all honesty, I think that the fourth industrial revolution will be powered by ideas, innovation, and technology. So looking at that space, I really want to say that young people who are getting these desired skills are the future of this country. It might interest you to note, however, that when you look at the structure of the Nigerian economy, you will notice that, you will see that the digital economy is even giving more to the GDP of the Nigerian GDP than even oil. Yes, oil is the largest earner of foreign revenues, as in the dollars, the petrodollar income. But with regards to contribution of GDP, if you look at the 2024 reports, the digital economy presented about 16% to Nigeria's GDP, while oil is still under 10% of it's about 9% contributions to Nigeria's GDP.
So what role is the gig economy playing in reducing unemployment among Nigerian youths?
It's huge. I mean, an economy a sector that contributes 16% to GDP. And by the way, let me use this opportunity to commend Bosun Tijani, who is the Minister for Communication and Digital Economy. One of the things that I wish that his people, especially his media people, will be doing to Nigerians is to give the appropriate information of how much the federal government is investing in infrastructure. You know, this digital economy is not powered by air. I mean, you must have physical infrastructure. What the federal government has done up to, I think is a 2024 to 2030 digital infrastructure plan, spearheaded by Bosun Tijani, who is the minister. I think is a wonderful idea because it will contribute greatly to our GDP. Now, to answer your question directly, I think that the contributions with regards to employment, you see, the workspace is changing globally. You have a situation where after COVID in 2020, the workspace has been changing. People can work from home. People can sit in their offices. You know, you can just. It is easier, especially backed by technology. These young people can just put a camera in front of them. They don't need this fancy, huge, expensive cameras. Just their phone and the internet, and they create content, and that is some form of employment that enables them to contribute to growing platforms, whether it is on X, whether it is on TikTok, whether it is on Instagram, whether it is blogging, or you know, I think that as an economist and someone who's interested in political leadership, I think that we should concentrate more in trying to provide that, making easier that platform for young people to engage, because it is the future. Like I said, it is the fourth industrial revolution. Like, for instance, let me tell you one of the challenges that we have in the tech or digital economy space in Nigeria. Most of these huge platforms, whether it's Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, X, Nigerians have the challenge because of those things that the perception, the corruption perception about Nigerians. This thing that you call 419 and advanced fee fraud, most of the financial payment platforms don't grant Nigerians access to payment. Now, you can, if you're in that space, you hear the word monetize. Most Nigerians cannot, whether it's on TikTok or on Facebook or Instagram, when you to monetize your accounts, that is when you post content, the amount of followership that you get a remuneration from it. Most Nigerians cannot access this remuneration except those that, when they register the platform, they have to say that their location is either in the US, Canada, or in the UK. When you say Nigeria, because of that financial corruption perception of Nigeria, Nigeria is not plugged into that. And I think that this is an opportunity for the Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy, led by Bosun Tijani, to look into. They should kindly make policies, build structures. We have BVN, we have different digital platforms now. We have driver's license, voters registration database. They should synchronize all these database and form something that I call like a Nigerian interactive database, where once you want to pay for an international transaction on the internet, you go through that platform. This platform will give these big or huge social media or digital economy sites, they will give them succor or give them a backup. So it will help promote employment in this country. It will ease a business transaction, because the digital economy is the next phase in the development process around the world.
Okay, while gig work offers flexibility, we often hear concerns about job security, lack of benefits, unpredictable income, and sometimes crazy long hours. What are your thoughts on these challenges, and how might they be addressed to improve the welfare of those involved?
You see, the exciting thing about the digital economy is that these young people have learned something that people, me, I'm Generation X. These Gen Z guys, these millennials, even the millennials are even getting old. They have realized that it is not to work hard, it is to work smart. That is about the time, the usage of your time to create value. When they call it content, I call it value creation, because everything is going online. And I think that if you watch them, the way they live their lives, especially these young people from the ages of 30 and to 18, you know that they are not interested in traditional workspaces or work. They're not work structure. They just want their own time to do certain things, to express themselves. And in that way, they are also creating value. Now, this idea of wearing suit and tie, or just like I am dressed, wearing babariga and all that, those people, they don't subscribe to such things, all those 9 to 5 hours. So they don't have that kind of stress that kind of what we have, what I call occupational hazard that some of us, I am in my 50s, this kind of occupational hazard that some of us had to go through. They are more relaxed with regards to their work attitude. So when you talk about stress, occupational hazard, places of work, I think one of the things that they have been able to do is to create their own work environment, create their own niche, to create their own timing with regards to what they create, what they contribute to the economy.
So in light of this development, do you think the government should step in to regulate the gig space? As in, how do we balance keeping things fair for workers without choking the creativity of these platforms?
Well, that's a wonderful question. I think that one of the issues that I have, and by the way, I have a tech background. I have a company in technology. That's why I can speak authoritatively about this sector. One of the issues that I have with the technology space, or like you refer to it as the gig economy or the digital economy, one of the challenges I have is the challenge of anonymity. That is the idea that people can post certain things without being visible, without the government identifying them. That is why you have this huge arrangement of misinformation, disinformation, sending of half-truths, propagandas. Because when somebody puts a post or creates a content and posts it on social media, it is difficult for you to trace where or who or how or when that post was created. So I think that the government needs to go ahead of the game. We have to regulate that space, not the one that the past administration did by banning Twitter and all of that. I think that is undemocratic. I think that is not the future. I think that the government should be more sensitive to the plight of Nigerians and their willingness and freedom for expression. We have the right to express ourselves as guaranteed in the Constitution. But that being said, government needs to regulate. Now, by regulation, I mean government needs to establish technological structures to regulate. That is, setting up, again, I'm calling on the attention of the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, setting up of a central database where you can track who is posting, when you are posting, why you are posting, and we have the right to take down your post if you offends certain criteria, right, certain establishments, whether it is on TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, any of these huge platforms, I think that they should do a blockchain arrangement country by country to ensure that, I mean, some countries are Islamic laws. They have Islamic laws like in Saudi Arabia. Some countries are canonized, like in Germany, for instance, is Christian. Some certain contents are offensive. So I think that the structure should be in a blockchain arrangement where each country has its own regulations and rules managed by themselves, so that we have the powers or the technology to take down, to limit the spread, to identify, most importantly, identify who is posting and where you are posting from.
Right,
so it must be regulated.
All right. Mr. Adakole Ijogi, it was a pleasure having your Business Express. Thank you so much for sharing your insight on Nigeria's gig economy.
Thank you for having me.
Great. Moving on, the bears had the upper hand at the Nigerian exchange on Monday, the first trading day for the month of September, dragging the market into negative territory. The all-share index slipped to 139,722.19 points as investors booked profits in heavyweight stocks, reversing the upbeat mood seen earlier in the week. Trading activities, however, remained vibrant. Over 407.9 million shares exchanged hands in 33,859 deals, with a market turnover of 14.77 billion naira. Despite the buzz, market capitalization closed at 88.41 trillion naira, reflecting the day's bearish close. Sovereign Trust Insurance led the gainers with 10% share price appreciation, closing at 2 naira 86 kobo per share, followed by Square Nigeria, Cornerstone Insurance Company, and Guinea Insurance. Nigeria must rely less on foreign aid and invest more of its own money to strengthen the health system. That was the suggestion of doctors, policymakers, and other stakeholders at the 4-day National Health Financing Dialogue in Abuja. Uche Ugochukwu reports that the meeting is focused on finding smarter, fairer, and more lasting ways to fund health care in the country.
Health experts from across the value chain, policymakers, civil society groups, and the media have all come together to brainstorm on the future of Nigeria's health system. In Nigeria, where no one has to choose between paying hospital bills and putting food on the table, that's the dream driving this meeting. Nigeria currently spends less than 15% benchmark set by the Abuja Declaration, leaving many Nigerians to pay out of pocket and too often sliding into poverty.
We know what we deal with, limited financial protection, and we have a decentralized system, which means we need to coordinate better and mobilize resources.
So the challenge is, with what we have at this point, how do we make use of it? How do we make it efficiently deployed? How do we mobilize efficiently? How do we purchase efficiently? How do we stretch the few dollars that we have at this moment to get the most health for our population?
The hope is that these conversations will open new doors for sustainable health financing and build a healthier future for Nigerians. Uche Ugochukwu.
Before we go, let's move to the currency market to see the exchange rate. After the bureau, the change rate closed flat at 1,540 naira to $1 on Monday. This is where we end this edition of Business Express. Be informed that all previous episodes are available on YouTube on the NTA's channel. Business Express returns Wednesday at 3 p.m. Keep a date with us. I am Nneka Oko.